This was me, borderline overweight, with a severe lack of stamina and strength, and most importantly, no bitches. Or queens either. But fast forward 150 days later and things have changed. I can now fit into old clothes that I couldn't fit into before. I can do crazier shit in dance. And I still have no bitches. But now men compliment me on my leg spread. But it didn't start off so easy. Last year, I had gotten an MRI scan on my knee and it turns out that parts of my meniscus were torn. And that put me in a bit of a spiral. I cut out anything remotely strenuous because I didn't want to play old man knee simulator so early in my life. And it came at the cost of my health. I got chubby. And my entire life, I've always been that chubby kid. Never the fittest, nor the leanest. Always finding it hard to lose weight. It's a reason why getting abs have been a New Year's resolution every year for the past decade. But then one day, I caught the second season of Jujutsu Kaisen and gazed upon the magnificence that is Toji and thought to myself, that's what I like. So I vowed to change, and this is the journey of how I did it. The first phase was elementary. Actually know how to lose weight. Sounds simple, but when you think about it, everyone gives you something different.
Have you tried keto? Intermittent fasting, bro. Eat less carbs. Do more cardio.
Funnily enough, none of these tips are technically wrong because they are all governed by the same principle of trying to achieve a caloric deficit. And this concept boils down to ensuring that you put less inside of you than what is going outside of you. No innuendos intended. And there are two ways you can do that. You can either, number one, intake less calories, or number two, use more calories. So in phase 1, these were the changes I made. Firstly, I cut out sweet drinks and sauces. I think they are the easiest and fastest way for you to get early diabetes and meeting Jesus prematurely in the afterlife. You can find the explanation on liquid calories on my weight loss series on TikTok. I cut down on fried and oily foods as well and gradually started hitting the gym again. And things looked up for quite a while. I had actually lost half a kilo in my first week. Not too bad, right? Until I promptly rebounded to a higher weight than when I started. You see, despite knowing the principle of losing weight, evidently I had never actually been able to apply it before with a proper plan. I was also afraid of training too hard, which could aggravate my knee injury. So how? Enter Jerome. Like a Deus Ex Machina fitness messiah descending from the heavens, one day Jerome dropped me a message on the holy online sanctity of Instagram proclaiming, "Let there be gains." Arnold 316. He basically offered to be my personal trainer. And that's when things started to really take off. But what changed here? Basically, I now had the fitness equivalent of a personal babysitter. I had someone with actual knowledge and experience to look at my current diet to tell me, hey, you should eat this shit. Hey, you shouldn't eat that shit. Someone to teach me how to gym properly, to know which exercises to do, what weight I should be doing it at, and what the proper form actually looks like so that I don't personally send myself to the A&E. So in this phase, these were the changes I made. Number 1, found a personal trainer that could plan my workouts and diets for me with actual knowledge and experience. And number 2, I increased protein intake in my diet. Things were looking up. I was pumping iron 2 times a week, lifting consistently heavier each session, eating a shit ton more protein than before with a lot less snacking. And after the first month of training with Jerome, the results were astounding. I gained weight. What the shit? So we both went a little Sherlock Holmes on my lifestyle and we found a few culprits. Number 1, fat intake. Turns out I was not eating less fat in my high protein diet. I ate a lot more chicken rice during this period to hit my protein goals. But the problem with chicken rice is that the rice is cooked with fat from the chicken. From a caloric density perspective, fat is 9 calories per gram, whereas for carbs and protein, they are 4 calories per gram. So eating too much fat is not the most ideal if you're trying to achieve weight loss. Number 2, neglecting cardio. I'm mostly sitting down, typing scripts, editing stuff, watching videos. Let's just say it's not a very physically intensive job scope. And I wasn't really doing much outside of gym work and dance. But think of it this way, if you walked about 6,000 steps a day, that could amount to an extra 180 to 240 calories used per day. And it might not sound like a lot, but do that 10 days in a row and there's like an additional deficit of 1,800 to 2,400 calories, which is the equivalent of eating 1 less day of food. Let that sink in. So in phase 3, we tweaked the plan once again. I did this one thing that entrepreneurs would jizz at when they hear it. I outsourced my protein. That is, I got meal prep. Pre-cooked protein, ready to eat right from the get-go. You don't know true power until you're able to get your lunch ready in 2 minutes every single day. I also did incline walking 5 days a week. If you're someone that has bad knees, it's a lot easier than going for a run and a lot cheaper to go into those overpriced fitness classes that's akin to clubbing. So wham bam kablam, it was a slam. I was getting noticeably leaner, the pain in my knees began to taper, and everything was going well. too well. You see, I had a lot of motivation because certain crucial events were starting to come up, ones that could derail the entire journey that I had been on so far, the festive season. Christmas, New Year, Chinese New Year, reservist. Furthermore, I went to Japan for holiday. Ooh, it was rough. Japanese food. Ooh. So after all that, I got my measurements done in February, tummy full of joy. Happy memories, but my waist went ahoy. It was yet another setback that I had to deal with. But I didn't actually feel that bad. I knew that I was gonna get that Toji physique. Like Thanos collecting the Infinity Stones for his Infinity Gauntlet, I collected my stones in the form of principles. Daily cardio, meal prepping, strength training, volume eating, caloric deficit. These practices formed the system for my journey of fat loss. And all I had to do was stick to it. 2 months later, the results were astounding. I dropped almost 10 kilograms, reaching a lowest of 71.2 kilograms. And I'm not crazy shredded like other people in their body transformation journeys, but that was never my goal. The goal was to find confidence in my body once again, to not be afraid to use my knees to squat down or get into a car. And I can safely say that I have achieved that. I can now get into cars with confidence. So if there's anyone that's looking to their body, consistency and persistence through failure will be your biggest allies. If you want change, you're going to be uncomfortable, so start finding comfort in that. Big thanks to Jerome for coaching me and Nutrify for making such delicious meal prep. Leave us up and goodbye.